answer, then go right to the Draymond Green, Ben Wallace debate.
Now,
Defensive Player of the Year awards. You watch Ben Wallace. You watch his dominance defensively. You watch what he meant to that Detroit Pistons team. You watch a dude that went undrafted, that was a Hall of Famer, the only player in NBA history to do that. You watch a dude that won 4 straight Defensive Player of the Year awards, should have won 5. He dominated an era on one side of basketball, true dominance, in an era of real big men. You don't have to argue that. I'm talking about, bro, all you do is look at Draymond's competition for the Defensive Player of the Year award. He doesn't really have the same competition Ben had. Ben had KG, Tim Duncan, Zoe Morning, all those dudes, Dikembe, Dwight Howard, all them dudes was his competition all those years. Ron Artest, Tony Allen.
Does that take away from his impact on the Warriors, though?
Bro, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it once and say it again. And I said this is why I told Mars. Bro, when they won the first one, who was the finals MVP? If Draymond was locking up LeBron so well, Chilltown and Mars and Ron, why didn't they keep him on him the whole series? Why did they put Iggy in the starting lineup and put him exclusively on LeBron James from then on? And then Iggy's numbers, his points went up to 16. But why did they do that? Why didn't they just leave Draymond on him the whole time? Then the next year, his biggest game in the playoffs, they lost. His biggest game ever in the playoffs, they lost. So let's talk about impact. Then let's go to the 2 years KD came. They won because KD was there. That's why they won. Chilltown will tell you that. Because guess what? If you look Chilltown in the face right now, and he says the greatest player I've ever seen, LeBron James, if they didn't have KD, ask Chilltown right now, do we think LeBron James lose those 2 chips?
Here's the thing, no, Ticket. That's not even a question. I mean, when you talk about Draymond Green's impact, I mean, we talking about. No. I'm saying, do you think LeBron James win those 2 chips? Do LeBron James lose those 2 chips if KD's not? You already know how I feel about that, right?
Okay, so then y'all eat to yourselves because all this fake ass impact with Draymond doesn't matter because you know why, Chilltown? If his impact was so great, why didn't Draymond and them just run it back? LeBron James ran back with the same team.
Well, he was, but that's not the same thing, Ticket. And the reason why that's not the same thing, is because that team that Ben Wallace was on, his impact. He was on a better defensive team. Draymond,
he made that. Hold on, none of them dudes were all defenders until Ben came along. None of them Chauncey Billups. Hold on, Chauncey. None of them dudes were all world defenders until Ben set the stamp. None of them dudes, Richard Hamilton, none of them. And them dudes.
And that part I'm not arguing. That part I'm not arguing. What I am arguing is that what Draymond did, not just on the defensive side of the basketball, what he did overall for that Golden State Warriors team. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about.
Hold on. So Chilltown, once again, the first championship, Iggy won the Finals MVP because everybody saw he went to the starting lineup. He didn't stop LeBron James, but he guarded him enough to help win the series. We all know that. Hold on. Watch this. They lose the next one, Chilltown. They lose the next one, right? When they're the 73 win season, they lose.
Right.
This one, Draymond was at his best. Right. They still lost. His impact wasn't there. Okay, watch this. If he got suspended. Also, you lost Bogey in that series. Okay, cool. You lose that series. Why not? If Draymond Green's impact is so great, why didn't he just run it right back? Shouldn't you run it? Shouldn't they have ran it right back against LeBron James? That was a 73-win team.
Yeah, it was.
Shouldn't they have ran it straight back?
It was a 73-win team. Now, don't forget the psychological aspect of it too. My best player is better than your best player. We cannot at no point discount that. My best player is better than your best player, and it ain't even close. No matter what kind of impact, Ben Wallace had, as good as Ben Wallace was, he wasn't better than Shaq. That's why the Detroit Pistons beat them. So with that being said, if you say the same thing with the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers, my best player is better than your best player. These are two different things when we're talking about Draymond's impact as opposed to. No, but I'm
saying, y'all saying Draymond's impact. Right. He's saying this dude said Draymond Green was more impactful than Klay Thompson, bro. Come on, man, cut it out. He said that. So and we all know all the big games Klay Thompson bailed them out over the years in the playoffs. We all know that Klay Thompson opened up Steph Curry's game. He opened up Draymond's game because all them other years that Klay didn't play, they failed to make the playoffs until the last year they was going to make the playoffs.
And Dre did, and I'd like to think that Dre did the same thing too, Ticket. And the reason why Dre did the same thing, he didn't do it because because of Klay Thompson stretching the defense. No, he did it in other aspects. He was able to speed the game up. Not only speed the game up, he was able to be a better playmaker and get Klay Thompson and get Steph Curry shots that they would not normally get on their own, because Draymond was able to bring defenses toward him, be the ball handler that they needed, be the rebounder that they needed. I'm gonna do the other stuff. That stuff is part of impact, as opposed to Draymond. As opposed to Klay Thompson, and as opposed to Steph Curry just shooting the long ball. You need a guy to do the other stuff, just like Ben Wallace did with the Detroit Pistons, where he was able to do the other stuff. That's why Rasheed Wallace was as good as he was. That's why Rip was as good as he was. That's why Chauncey was as good as he was, because Ben Wallace was able to do the other stuff. That's what made his impact so big. Well, that's the same reason going on that's the same thing going on with Draymond. That's why his impact was so big.
I disagree, bro. I believe if you could plug somebody else in that spot, but you couldn't plug nobody else what Ben did in his spot at that time with Detroit. It's harder to plug somebody else in Ben's spot than it is in Draymond Green's spot. I'm just telling, bro. Listen, when you pass into the greatest shooters to ever play basketball, what are we talking about?
Ticket though. The thing about that is, I'm not undermining Draymond or Ben Wallace's impact at all, because Ben Wallace was a monster, nothing short of a monster. Anybody to lock up Shaq, you're a total different beast. But outside of the Lakers, no, for sure, that was OD. But outside of the Lakers, when you look at the rest of the landscape of the league, they could have got by without Ben Wallace. With Rasheed at center, or if they were to insert another center.
You can ask Ron.
Yo,
that's crazy.
That's no, because that team.
You can ask anybody on that team.
And they ain't had Ben Wallace the year that they lost to the Cavs in 07 in the East Finals.
Well, I'm not saying take Ben Wallace off the team. I'm saying you got to replace him with somebody that's competent. But I'm like, yo, you got Chauncey Billups,
ain't no way, ain't no way.
Rasheed Wallace. And it's like, bro,
let me ask you this, Ticket. Let me ask you this, Paul. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ron, but Ticket, let me ask you this. There has to be a separator. So where's the separator between Ben Wallace? Where do you think the separator is between Ben Wallace and Draymond Green?
First of all, just the ferociousness out there. I'm talking about Ben was for real with it. Draymond Green, they don't know. When Ben say it and lay it down, they believe it. They call him Debo for a reason, bro. It's not no game, man. It's not a game at all. It's all square.
I'm not gonna fight. No bitch in him.
Hold on. Let me say this. Let me say this. Elite rim protector. It was a no-fly zone. Draymond Green's not that. Elite rebounder. Draymond Green is not that. You understand what I'm saying? Ben Wallace, listen, while he was not a great offensive player, he wasn't a good offensive player at all. What he did do was he facilitated the offense in his own way, because by him getting all the rebounds that he got, getting the ball out in transition, the few easy buckets they got it because Ben Wallace controlled the boards, because he controlled one half of the game. And also, Ben Wallace was also known for being able to take out some of the best power forwards in the game during those years. He was in Detroit.
Now,
all those dudes had hard times with him.
Now, with that being said, Ticket, I won't argue the defensive side of the basketball, because when I think about Ben Wallace as a defender and I think about how versatile he was, I won't argue that. Draymond, on the other hand, one of the best one-on-one defenders that the NBA has ever seen. Not only that, just for his size, how much he was able to make up space, right? Not only was he how much he was able to make up space, plus how he was able to guard bigs. The separator comes on the offensive side of the basketball, though.
What bigs and what all?
Yo, Ticket, Draymond to check some bigs. It wasn't Shaq. It was not Shaq, but Draymond to check some centers.
And not only bigs. We're talking about guys who stretch the floor, because Shaq was gone, right? David Robinson is gone. Olajuwon is gone. Those guys are gone. And Kevin McHale said, go ahead. I'm sorry. Did I lose him? Yeah, I think I lost him. And Kevin McHale said it. Kevin McHale said Draymond Green would have had a difficult time with him. Even with that all being said, there has to be a separator. And the separator for Draymond Green is on the offensive side of the basketball, because I might not have been a better defensive player than you, but I was just as good as you.
It's not on the offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely it was, because he was the better distributor.
Chill. Stop acting like he ain't passing the ball to the two greatest shooters, two of the top 5 greatest shooters to ever play the game of basketball.
But he wasn't just doing that. He had to make plays for them too, though. It wasn't like he was just passing the ball like, here you go. No, he had to make plays for them.
Bro, I could literally put a number of power forwards that could have played that position and got the ball to Steph, Clay, and the KD, bro. It ain't that damn hard, man.
I don't
Straight
think so,
up, they coming off these
with
screens.
KD, it's different. With KD, you can insert
With Steph and Clay,
a lot of people, but without KD, before KD came there, you can't just replace Draymond like that.
Ron, with Steph and Clay, I'm giving them the ball anywhere behind the 3-point line. That shit is money in their prime, bro. I don't care where you giving it to them at.
Even if that's true, Ticket, with Draymond Green, when he was running with him, Draymond Green wasn't a great scorer, but he was a good enough scorer to keep defenses honest. You being a former ball player, you know how important it is as an offensive player to keep defenses honest, where it's not 4-on-5. If it's 4-on-5, I can't just throw him the ball because the logic is
2 years. 2 years. You acting like he did this for a whole 6-7 year stretch. 2 years. He averaged 14 and then what? 12. And that was his prime. That was it.
Once I get that tag on me that I am a threat from the long ball, that I am a threat in the mid range, and that I can score in transition. Once I get that tag on me, then that helps out the other offensive players on my crew tremendously, as opposed to where you're not a threat at all.
Y'all acting like
Ben Wallace wasn't a threat at all offensively. We all know that.
Y'all giving him too much credit.
And that's where the separator is.
Hold on. Y'all making it seem like he out here guarding Embiid. You're making it seem like he's guarding Jokic the whole game. He's guarding him a few possessions, bro. That's why they got Looney. That's why they got them other big dudes who's really guarding those centers. Draymond take turns guarding certain dudes on certain possessions, bro. Bro, Big Ben Wallace had the toughest assignments every night. You know all the bigs that was in the league he had to play against? It was no duck and smoke any night.
No, it wasn't.
Any night, bro. You're talking about KG. You're talking about every single night, bro. It's smoke.
What we're not going to do, though, Ticket, we're not going to act like, Shaq did average 27 and 11 against him in the finals when they smoked.
Bro, hold on, time out. Hey, and guess what? And against other centers, Shaq was averaging 36 and something. It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. You're the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.